Hello and welcome to Logical Pharmacology. Let's begin with the most common OTC category. These are split into a few classes. First, the primary analgesic and antipyretic. Acetaminophen, commonly known by the brand name Tylenol, is indicated for use in pain, headache, and fever. Acetaminophen is a centrally acting analgesic and antipyretic with minimal anti-inflammatory properties. Its analgesic mechanism is unknown, but may be through central inhibition of prostaglandin synthesis. Next is the class of NSAIDs, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Aspirin, which has a common brand name of Bayer, is used for fever, generalized aches, pains, and headache. Aspirin works by irreversibly inhibiting COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes, which blocks the synthesis of prostaglandins, thereby reducing pain, fever, and inflammation. Ibuprofen, known by the brand names Motrin or Advil, is indicated for fever, pain, headache, menstrual cramps, backache, and muscular aches. Ibuprofen is a non-selective inhibitor of COX-1 and COX-2 and reversibly alters platelet function and prolongs bleeding time. Naproxen, with the common brand name Aleve, is used for fever, pain, and headache. Naproxen works as a non-selective inhibitor of COX-1 and COX-2. And finally, for pain, we have the class of topical analgesics. Benzocaine topical, which includes brand names Anbesol or Cepacol, is indicated for skin, mouth, throat, or gum pain, as well as hemorrhoids. This is a local anesthetic that works by blocking both the initiation and conduction of nerve impulses by decreasing the neuronal membrane's permeability to sodium ions, which results in inhibition of depolarization with resultant blockade of conduction. Capsaicin, with brand names like Capsaicin P or Zostrix, is used for minor pain. Capsaicin works as an agonist of the TRPV1 receptor found in nociceptive nerve fibers. Activation of TRPV1 by capsaicin results in depolarization and pain signal transmission and subsequent desensitization and inhibition of pain transmission. Diclofenac topical, having brand names Voltaren or Aleve gel, is used to treat pain and inflammation from osteoarthritis. It's a non-selective inhibitor of COX-1 and COX-2. Lidocaine topical, found in brands like Solarcaine, LMX4, or Ubernumb, is useful for skin pain or itching, relief of anorectal pain, and pretreatment for minor dermal procedures. Its mechanism is to block both the initiation and conduction of nerve impulses by decreasing the neuronal membrane's permeability to sodium ions. Methyl salicylate and menthol topical. The combination found in Bengay or Icy Hot is used for pain. Methyl salicylate, wintergreen oil, is a salicylic acid derivative that irritates the skin for relief, while menthol has local anesthetic and counter-irritant properties and may also act as a weak kappa opioid receptor agonist. Next up, we'll cover the large category of allergy, cough, and cold medications. We'll start with oral antihistamines. Cetirizine, with the common brand name Zyrtec, is indicated for perennial or seasonal allergic rhinitis. Cetirizine is a low-sedating, long-acting H1 receptor antagonist that is a metabolite of hydroxyzine. It competitively inhibits the interaction of histamine with H1 receptors, thereby preventing the allergic response. Chlorpheniramine, which has the common brand name chlortrimeton, is used for allergic rhinitis. Chlorpheniramine works by specifically blocking the H1 receptor, which inhibits the action of histamine. Diphenhydramine systemic, known by the brand names Benadryl or as the sleep aid ZQuil, has several indications including allergic reaction, cough, sleep, and motion sickness. Diphenhydramine works by competing with histamine for H1 receptor sites on effector cells in the GI tract and CNS, and it also blocks the chemoreceptor trigger zone. Fexofenadine, with the common brand name Allegra Allergy, is used for upper respiratory allergies and seasonal or perennial allergic rhinitis. Fexofenadine, the major active metabolite of terfenadine, is an antihistamine with selective peripheral H1 receptor antagonist activity. Levocetirizine, known as Zysal Allergy 24-hour, is indicated for allergic rhinitis. Levocetirizine, an enantiomer of cetirizine, is a low-sedating, long-acting H1 receptor antagonist that competitively inhibits the interaction of histamine with H1 receptors. Loratadine, commonly known as Claritin or Alavert, is used for perennial or seasonal allergic rhinitis and urticaria. Loratadine is a low-sedating, long-acting H1 receptor antagonist that competitively inhibits the interaction of histamine with H1 receptors, thereby preventing allergic responses. For allergic conjunctivitis, we have ketotifen, known with the brand name Zaditor, is indicated for allergic conjunctivitis. Ketotifen is a long-acting H1 receptor antagonist that competitively inhibits the interaction of histamine with H1 receptors, thereby preventing the allergic response. Olopatadine, with the brand name Pataday, is used to treat allergic conjunctivitis. Olopatadine is a relatively selective histamine, H1 antagonist that exerts its effect by inhibiting the release of histamine from mast cells. It also blocks type 1 immediate hypersensitivity reactions. Now let's look at the nasal sprays, starting with nasal antihistamines. Azelastine, which has the brand name Astepro, is indicated for perennial allergic rhinitis and seasonal allergic rhinitis. Azelastine is a selective H1 receptor antagonist that blocks the release of histamine from cells involved in the allergic response. It also inhibits other mediators of allergic reactions and reduces chemotaxis and eosinophil activation. Next are the nasal, steroids, and mast cell stabilizers. Budesonide, nasal, is indicated for upper respiratory allergies. Budesonide is an anti-inflammatory with potent glucocorticoid and weak mineralocorticoid activity. It exhibits a broad range of active inhibition against multiple cell types and mediators involving allergic and non-allergic inflammation. Cromolyn sodium, with the brand name Nasal-Crom, is used for the prevention or treatment of perennial or seasonal allergic rhinitis. Cromolyn works by reducing symptoms associated with rhinitis by producing mast cell protective effects against antigen-antibody reactions and blocking the liberation of mediators of anaphylaxis, such as histamine. Fluticasone nasal, with the common brand name Flonase, is indicated for allergic rhinitis. Fluticasone has anti-inflammatory, antipruritic, and vasoconstrictive properties. It is thought to act by the induction of phospholipase A2 inhibitory proteins, called lipocortins, which control the biosynthesis of potent mediators of inflammation. Triamcinolone nasal, which has the brand name Nasacort Allergy 24-hour, is used for perennial or seasonal allergic rhinitis. Triamcinolone has anti-inflammatory, antipruritic, and vasoconstrictive properties. Like other corticosteroids, it is thought to act by the induction of phospholipase A2 inhibitory proteins, which control the biosynthesis of prostaglandins and leukotrienes. Next, we have decongestants. Oxymetazoline nasal, found in brands like Afrin or Dristan, is used for relief from nasal congestion. It works by stimulating alpha-adrenergic receptors in the arterioles of the nasal mucosa, producing vasoconstriction, which relieves nasal congestion. Phenylephrine oral and nasal, with common brand names Sudafed PE or Nasal 4, is indicated for nasal decongestion. Phenylephrine is a potent, direct-acting alpha-adrenergic agonist. With oral administration, it produces systemic arterial vasoconstriction. The nasal formulation produces local vasoconstriction, both resulting in nasal decongestion. Pseudoephedrine, with the brand name Sudafed, is used for nasal congestion. It works by stimulating alpha-adrenergic receptors of the respiratory mucosa, causing vasoconstriction, and also stimulates beta-adrenergic receptors, causing bronchial relaxation. And for nasal moisturizers, saline, nasal, with brand names like Air or Ocean, is used for nasal congestion. It simply acts as a wetting solution. For cough and congestion, we have dextromethorphan, which has brand names like Delsim or Robitussin, is used for cough. Dextromethorphan is the D-isomer of levorphanol, a codeine analog. It has no analgesic properties at therapeutic doses, but suppresses cough by depressing the cough center in the medulla oblongata. Guaifenesin, with the common brand name Mucinex, is indicated for cough due to minor throat and bronchial irritation. Guaifenesin is an expectorant that works by increasing the hydration of the respiratory tract, which thins bronchial secretions and increases sputum volume. Menthol oral, found in Hall's cough drops, is used for cough and throat irritation. Menthol has local anesthetic and counter-irritant properties, and it is widely used to relieve minor throat irritation. It may also act as a weak kappa opioid receptor agonist. Moving into women's health and urinary products, starting with contraception. Levonorgestrel, with brand names like Aftera, My Choice, or Plan B One Step, is used for emergency contraception. Progestins like levonorgestrel prevent pregnancy by inhibiting ovulation by suppression of LH, inhibiting sperm migration, slowing ovum transport, and producing a thinning endometrium that hampers implantation. Norgestrel, with the brand name Opil, is used for contraception. Progestins prevent pregnancy by inhibiting ovulation by suppression of LH, inhibiting sperm migration, and causing cervical mucus changes that are hostile to sperm migration. Now let's look at dermatology and topical products, starting with acne treatments. Adapalene, which has the brand name Differin, is used for acne vulgaris. Adapalene treats acne by normalizing skin cell differentiation and preventing microcomedone formation. It effectively reduces both comedones and inflammatory lesions with less irritation than other retinoic acids. Benzoyl peroxide, with the brand name Proactive, is also used for acne vulgaris. Benzoyl peroxide is an antibacterial, comedolytic, and seborrheic agent. It has bactericidal activity against Cutibacterium acnes and also has keratolytic and comedolytic effects. Salicylic acid, found in oxypads, Stridex, or Compound W, is indicated for acne vulgaris and wart removal. Salicylic acid works by producing desquamation of epithelial cells by dissolving the intercellular cement that causes tissue to swell, soften, and desquamate. Next are topical antifungals. Clotrimazole, with the brand name Lotrimin AF, is used for skin fungal infections, including jock itch, ringworm, athlete's foot, and vulvovaginal candidiasis. Clotrimazole works by inhibiting the biosynthesis of ergosterol or other sterols, damaging the fungal cell wall membrane and altering its permeability. Ketoconazole shampoo, with the brand name Nizoral AD, is used for dandruff. Ketoconazole works by inhibiting the biosynthesis of ergosterol, damaging the fungal cell wall membrane and altering its permeability. Miconazole, found in Desenex or Lotrimin AAF, is indicated for skin fungal infections including jock itch, ringworm, athlete's foot, and vulvovaginal candidiasis. It works by inhibiting the biosynthesis of ergosterol, damaging the fungal cell wall membrane, which increases permeability and causes leaking of nutrients. Terbinafine topical, with the brand name Lamisil AT, is used for skin fungal infections, including athlete's foot, ringworm, and jock itch. Terbinafine is an allylamine antifungal that inhibits the biosynthesis of ergosterol, an essential component of the fungal cell membrane, resulting in fungal cell death. Tolnaftate, with brand names like Tinactin or Fungi Nail, is indicated for skin fungal infections, including jock itch, ringworm, and athlete's foot. It works by distorting the hyphae and stunting mycelial growth in susceptible fungi. Undesilenic acid, with the brand name Toelieva, is used for skin fungal infections, including ringworm and athlete's foot. It also works by distorting hyphae and stunting mycelial growth in susceptible fungi. For antiparasitics, used for lice. Permethrin, with the brand name Nix, is used for the treatment of infestation with head lice and their nits. It works by inhibiting sodium ion influx through nerve cell membrane channels in parasites, resulting in delayed repolarization and thus paralysis and death of the pest. Pyrethroids, with the brand name Rid, is also used for the treatment of head lice and their nits. Pyrethroids are derived from chrysanthemum flowers and affect neuronal membranes of lice. Piperonyl butoxide is included to decrease the metabolism of pyrethroids in arthropods. For itching, rashes, and skin irritation. Aluminum acetate, known as dome boro powder or Bureau solution, is indicated for skin irritation from insect bites, athlete's foot, and poison ivy. Aluminum acetate is a topical astringent that provides temporary relief, has a cooling and drying effect, and is particularly useful on weeping lesions. Colloidal oatmeal, with the brand name Aveeno, is used for dry skin, pruritus, and eczema. Colloidal oatmeal has a high concentration of starches and beta-glucan, providing protective and water-holding functions for moisturizing. It also contains various phenols that confer antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. Diphenhydramine, topical, with the brand name Benadryl, is used for pruritus, itching. Diphenhydramine works by competing with histamine for H1 receptor sites. Hydrocortisone topical, with brand names like Cortisone 10, is indicated for pruritus caused by insect bites, contact dermatitis, and poisonous plants. Hydrocortisone has anti-inflammatory, antipruritic, and vasoconstrictive properties. It is thought to act by the induction of phospholipase A2 inhibitory proteins, which control the biosynthesis of inflammatory mediators. Pramoxine, found in Proctofoam or Caladryl, is indicated for pain and itching associated with minor dermatoses, minor insect bites, and rashes. Pramoxine is an anesthetic that decreases the neuronal membrane's permeability to sodium ions. Both initiation and conduction of nerve impulses are blocked. Witch hazel, with the brand name Tux medicated pads, is used for hemorrhoidal pain, burning, and itching. Witch hazel is a topical astringent that provides temporary relief of minor skin irritations and has a cooling and drying effect. For cold sores, docosanol, with the brand name Abreva, is indicated for herpes simplex, cold sores, or fever blisters. Docosanol works by inhibiting viruses that enter cells by fusion. It inhibits entry of the virus into the cell and fusion between the plasma membrane and the viral envelope, blocking viral replication. For hair growth, minoxidil, topical, with the brand name Rogaine, is used for hair growth. The mechanism for its topical effect is not known. It may act at the hair follicle, perhaps as a potassium channel agonist or a direct stimulant, and may reverse the process of androgenetic alopecia. For wart removal, cryotherapy, with the brand name Dr. Scholl's Freeze-Away, is used for wart removal. Cryotherapy works by selectively necrosing wart tissue by reducing the temperature of cells infected with the viruses that cause warts. Salicylic acid, found in brands like Compound W, is also used for wart removal. Salicylic acid is keratolytic, and at concentrations greater than 6%, it becomes destructive to tissue by dissolving the intercellular cement. For wound care and protectants, bacitracin, neomycin, and polymyxin, B, known as neosporin, is used to prevent infection in minor cuts, scrapes, and burns. This combination works in three ways. Bacitracin inhibits bacterial cell wall synthesis, neomycin interferes with bacterial protein synthesis, and polymyxin B damages the bacterial cytoplasmic membrane. Hydrogen peroxide, with the brand name Peroxyl, is used for recurrent aphthous ulcers, canker sores, and topical wound irrigation. It is an oxidizing agent. When applied to tissue, catalase rapidly converts it into molecular oxygen, and the effervescence may aid in the mechanical removal of dead tissue or bacteria. Moisturizers, with brand names like Eucerin, Lubriderm, or Cetaphil, are used for dry skin. Moisturizers work by protecting the skin barrier. They generally include occlusive substances, like petrolatum, that seal in moisture, or humectant substances, like glycerin, that attract and retain moisture from the air. Vitamin A and D topical, with the brand name A plus D Original, is used as a protectant. It works by providing a protective coating to prevent or treat mild skin irritations and abrasions, soothing and protecting skin to promote the healing of chapped skin and diaper rash. Zinc oxide, with the brand name Desitin, is also used as a protectant. It provides a protective coating to treat skin irritations and diaper rash. It also promotes reepithelialization, decreases inflammation, and reduces bacterial growth. And for hemorrhoidal products, phenylephrine topical, with the brand name Preparation H, is indicated for hemorrhoidal pain, burning, and itching. Phenylephrine is a potent, direct-acting alpha-adrenergic agonist. The topical formulation produces local vasoconstriction, resulting in relief from hemorrhoidal symptoms. Hydrocortisone, topical, also found in Preparation H, is used for pruritus caused by hemorrhoids. Its anti-inflammatory properties help relieve itching and inflammation associated with hemorrhoids. Moving on to gastrointestinal health, let's start with acid reducers, specifically proton pump inhibitors or PPI, esomeprazole magnesium, which has the brand name Nexium, is indicated for the treatment of frequent heartburn. Esomeprazole is a PPI that, when protonated in the secretory canaliculi of the parietal cells, covalently binds to the hydrogen-potassium ATP-ACE proton pump, which is the final pathway for acid secretion. Lansoprazole, with the brand name Prevacid 24-hour, is also used for the treatment of frequent heartburn. Lansoprazole is a PPI that, when protonated, covalently binds to the hydrogen-potassium ATP-ACE proton pump, which is the final pathway for acid secretion. Omeprazole, with the brand name Prilosec OTC, is useful for heartburn and indigestion. Omeprazole is a PPI that covalently binds to the H plus K plus ATPase proton pump, producing a profound antisecretory effect and inhibiting basal, nocturnal, and food-stimulated gastric acid secretion. Next, the H2 blockers. Famotidine, known as Pepcid or Zantac 360, is used for indigestion and heartburn. Famotidine is a competitive inhibitor of histamine, H2 receptors. Its primary clinically important pharmacologic activity is the inhibition of gastric secretion, suppressing both acid concentration and volume. Now for antacids. Bismuth subsalicylate, with brand names like Pepto-Bismol or Kaopectate, is used for diarrhea, heartburn, and nausea. Bismuth has demonstrated numerous actions, including antibacterial activity and protective effects on the gastric mucosa, while the salicylate has antisecretory properties. Calcium carbonate, with the common brand name Tums, is used as an antacid and for dietary supplementation. Its mechanism is that calcium salts neutralize gastric acidity. Magnesium hydroxide, known as milk of magnesia, is used as an antacid and a laxative. Magnesium hydroxide is a basic compound that acts as an antacid by neutralizing hydrochloric acid in the stomach. For constipation, we have several types of laxatives, starting with stimulants. Bisacodyl, with the brand name Dulcolax, is used for constipation. Bisacodyl is a stimulant laxative that works by stimulating sensory nerve endings of the colon to produce parasympathetic reflexes, resulting in peristalsis. Senna, which has brand names like X-Lax or Senocot, is also used for constipation. Senna is a natural stimulant laxative. Its active constituents, senosides, have a direct action on the intestinal mucosa, increasing the rate of colonic motility and enhancing colonic transit. Next, stool softeners, Docusate, with the brand name Colus, is used for constipation. Docusate is an anionic surfactant that acts as a stool softener. It is believed to stimulate intestinal secretion and increase the penetration of fluid into the stool by emulsifying feces, water, and fat. Next, osmotic laxatives. Magnesium hydroxide, also known as milk of magnesia, is used as a laxative. It acts as a laxative by causing osmotic retention of fluid, distending the colon with increased peristaltic activity. Polyethylene glycol 3350, with the brand name Miralax, is indicated as a laxative. PEG produces a hyperosmotic solution that acts as a laxative by causing osmotic retention of fluid, softening the stool, and distending the colon, which increases peristaltic activity. Sodium phosphate enema, known as fleet enema, is used as a laxative. Sodium phosphate acts as a laxative by causing osmotic retention of fluid, distending the colon with increased peristaltic activity. And finally, bulk-forming laxatives. Calcium polycarbophil, with the brand name Fibercon, is used as a laxative and an antidiarrheal. Polycarbophil is a hydrophilic resin capable of absorbing 60 times its original weight in water. As a bulk laxative, it retains free water, increasing luminal pressure and peristalsis. Psyllium, found in brands like Consul or Metamucil, is used as a laxative. Psyllium is a soluble fiber that absorbs water in the intestine to soften stools, lubricates the intestine, and adds bulk, promoting peristalsis and reducing transit time. Wheat dextrin, with the brand name Benefiber, is used for fiber supplementation and as a laxative. Wheat dextrin is a soluble fiber that absorbs water in the intestine to soften stools, add bulk, and promote peristalsis. For antidiarrheals, we have bismuth subsalicylate. Again, Pepto-Bismol is used for diarrhea and nausea. For diarrhea, it works by exerting antimicrobial and antisecretory properties. Loperamide, with the brand name Imodium AD, is indicated for acute diarrhea, traveler's diarrhea, and chronic diarrhea. Loperamide works by slowing intestinal motility. It binds to the opiate receptor in the gut wall, inhibiting the release of acetylcholine and prostaglandins, thereby reducing peristalsis and increasing intestinal transit time. For antiemetics and motion sickness, dimenhydrinate, known as Dramamine original formula, is used for the prevention and treatment of motion sickness. The efficacy of dimenhydrinate is related to its effects on labyrinthine function, and it has been shown to inhibit the vestibular system. It also competes with histamine 4H1 receptor sites. Meclizine, known as Dramamine less, drowsy, or boning, is indicated for motion sickness. Meclizine is an antihistamine that suppresses the vasodepressor response to histamine while only slightly inhibiting acetylcholine. Phosphorated carbohydrate, with the brand name Emitrol, is used for nausea. Its precise mechanism of action is not known. For gas relief, we have alpha-D-galactosidase, with the brand name Biano, is useful for intestinal gas, bloating, and flatulence. This is a natural food enzyme derived from the Aspergillus niger mold that breaks down non-absorbable complex carbohydrates in foods before they can be metabolized by colonic bacteria. Simethicone, with brand names like Gas-X or Milicon, is used for relief from gas. Simethicone contains dimethyl polysiloxanes that have antifoaming activity. It acts in the GI tract by altering the surface tension of gas and mucus bubbles, enabling gas to be dispersed and absorbed or coalesced and passed. And finally, for GI, we have probiotics. Bifidobacterium infantis, with the brand name Align, is used for GI tract colonization for inflammatory GI disorders. B. infantis is a beneficial bacterium that is thought to exert its effect by suppressing the growth of pathogenic bacteria in the gut and improving intestinal barrier function. Lactobacillus, found in brands like Lactinex, Culturelle, or Floranex, is indicated for GI tract colonization for inflammatory GI disorders and diarrheal illnesses. Lactobacillus species are bacteria that convert lactose and other sugars to lactic acid. This production of lactic acid makes the gut environment acidic, which inhibits the growth of some harmful bacteria. Saccharomyces boulardii, with the brand name Florastor, is also used for GI tract colonization for diarrheal illnesses. S. boulardii is a non-pathogenic yeast that is thought to exert its effect by suppressing the growth of pathogenic bacteria in the gut, reducing inflammation, and improving intestinal barrier function. Category 5, Ophthalmic and Otic, eye and ear. Now for a look at eye and ear care, we'll start with ocular lubricants, artificial tears, with a common brand name, Cystane, is indicated for ocular dryness. These products work by replacing or supplementing naturally produced tears with a product that has similar moisturizing characteristics to lubricate and protect the eye. Next, ocular decongestants for redness, brimonidine. with the brand name Lumify, is used for ocular redness. Brimonidine is a relatively selective alpha-adrenergic agonist. It reduces aqueous humor production and increases uveoscleral outflow, which can reduce ocular redness. Nafazoline ophthalmic, found in Clear Eyes or Nafcon-A, is indicated for ocular redness and irritation. It works by stimulating alpha-adrenergic receptors in the conjunctiva to produce vasoconstriction, which reduces redness and congestion. Tetrahydrozoline ophthalmic, with the brand name Vezin, is used for relief from redness of the eye due to minor irritation. It works by stimulating alpha-adrenergic receptors in the conjunctiva to produce vasoconstriction, which reduces redness. And for otic or ER care, carbamide peroxide with the brand name Debrox is used as an aid to earwax removal. Carbamide peroxide works by breaking down into hydrogen peroxide and urea. The hydrogen peroxide releases oxygen, causing foaming on contact with wax, which loosens and softens impacted cerumen. Category 6. Sleep aids and stimulants. Next, we'll look at sleep aids and stimulants doxylamine. With the brand name Unisom Sleep Tabs, is used for sleep. Doxylamine works by competing with histamine for H1 receptor sites. One of its adverse effects, sedation, is the basis for its use as a hypnotic. Melatonin, with a common brand name, Midnight, is used for insomnia, jet lag, and pain. Melatonin is a neurohormone produced by the pineal gland during the dark hours. It is involved in the induction of sleep and may play a role in the internal synchronization of the mammalian circadian system. And for stimulants, caffeine, found in NoDoz or Jet Alert, is used for mental alertness. Caffeine is a CNS stimulant that works by increasing levels of cyclic AMP by inhibiting phosphodiesterase. It also increases medullary respiratory center sensitivity to carbon dioxide. For urinary health, oxybutynin, with the brand name Oxytrol for women, is indicated for overactive bladder. Oxybutynin is a competitive muscarinic receptor antagonist. Muscarinic receptors play an important role in contractions of the urinary bladder. Smooth muscle, phenazopyridine, with the brand name Azourinary pain relief, is used for dysuria, pain, burning, and other discomforts of the lower urinary tract. Phenazopyridine is excreted in the urine, where it exerts a local topical analgesic or anesthetic effect on the mucosa of the urinary tract. The precise molecular target is not known. Our next to last category is a large one: vitamins, minerals, and herbal supplements. We'll start with vitamins and minerals. Cholecalciferol, vitamin D3, with the brand name DVI-Sol, is used for dietary supplementation. Cholecalciferol is metabolized to its active form, 1,2,5-dihydroxyvitamin D, calcitriol, which binds to the intracellular vitamin D receptor to activate vitamin D response elements and is required for calcium homeostasis. Ferrous sulfate, with brand names Thiosol or Fer-Insol, is used for the treatment and prevention of iron deficiency anemia. Iron is a component of hemoglobin and is required for the synthesis of red blood cells. Absence of iron results in smaller hemoglobin molecules and microcytic anemia. Magnesium oxide is used for dietary supplementation. Magnesium is a trace element and essential cofactor for enzymatic reactions, including protein synthesis and carbohydrate metabolism. Niacin, vitamin B3. With brand names niacin 50 or slow niacin, is indicated for coronary arteriosclerosis, hypercholesterolemia, and as a vitamin supplement. Its mechanism may involve partial inhibition of the release of free fatty acids from adipose tissue and increased lipoprotein lipase activity. Niacin also decreases the rate of hepatic synthesis of VLDL and LDL. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid, with the brand name Emergent C, Fruit C, is used for dietary supplementation. It is a water-soluble vitamin with antioxidant effects and is required for the synthesis of collagen. Vitamin C deficiency results in scurvy. Vitamin E tocopherol, with the brand name E400, is used for dietary supplementation. It acts as a free radical scavenger, protecting polyunsaturated fatty acids, a major structural component of cell membranes, from peroxidation. Zinc, found in Zicam, Zinc, or cold Ease, is used for dietary supplementation and for the common cold. Zinc serves a structural role in maintaining protein structure and nuclear stability. Its mechanism as a cold remedy is unknown, but may be related to immune stimulation or direct antiviral activity. Prenatal vitamins are used for diet supplementation during pregnancy. They work by providing vitamin and mineral supplementation throughout pregnancy and during the postnatal period for both the lactating and non-lactating mother. Next are the herbal supplements. Black cohosh, with the brand name Remifemin, is used for menopausal symptoms. Its biologically active constituents may reduce circulating levels of luteinizing hormones and stimulate dopamine receptors that in turn oppose prolactin. Buterbur, with the brand name Petadolex, is used for the prevention of migraines and for allergic rhinitis. Petacites is the active ingredient from the butterbur plant and has smooth muscle relaxant activity on vascular walls, with a particular affinity for cerebral blood vessels. Echinacea is used for the treatment or prevention of upper respiratory tract infections. Echinacea extracts may work by stimulating multiple cytokines and increasing macrophage proliferation and phagocytosis. Evening primrose oil is used for eczema and hot flashes. Evening primrose oil's active ingredient is thought to be GLA, an omega-6 essential fatty acid. A deficit of GLA may be present in patients with atopic eczema. Flaxseed oil, also known as omega-3, is used for lipid lowering. Its potential mechanisms of action include inhibition of acyl CoA 1,2-diacylglycerol acyl transferase, decreased lipogenesis in the liver, and increased plasma lipoprotein lipase activity. Garlic, or allium, is used for hyperlipidemia and colon cancer prevention. Allicin is thought to be the active ingredient of garlic and has antioxidant and anti-lipid properties, although the precise mechanism is unknown. Ginkgo biloba, with the brand name Tebonin, is used for peripheral vascular disease, dementia, and memory improvement. Ginkgo has antioxidant effects that scavenge free radicals and reduce lipid peroxidation, which is thought to be beneficial in dementia and is a smooth muscle relaxant. Golden seal, or berberine, is used for traveler's diarrhea. The active ingredient of golden seal is berberine, which has antimicrobial activity and prevents the adherence of bacteria to host cells. Milk thistle, or silymarin, is used as a hepatoprotectant for hepatitis C, alcohol-related hepatitis, and toxicity. Silymarin is a natural component of milk thistle, which has exhibited promising antifibrotic activity in experimental liver injury, as well as antioxidant and anti-inflammatory action. Omega-3 acid ethyl esters, known as omega-3, are used for hypertriglyceridemia and as a dietary supplement. Potential mechanisms of action include inhibition of acyl CoA 2-DAG acyltransferase, decreased lipogenesis in the liver, and increased plasma lipoprotein lipase activity. Saw palmetto is used for benign prostatic hyperplasia. Saw palmetto is believed to have multiple sites of action related to its use for BPH symptoms, including anti-androgenic and anti-inflammatory properties. St. John's wort, or Hypericum perforatum, is used for mild to moderate depression. A number of compounds isolated from St. John's wort possess pharmacologic activity. Hyperforin extracts are believed to inhibit the reuptake of serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. It is also a potent inducer of CYP3A4 and P-glycoprotein, leading to numerous significant drug interactions. And finally, oral lubricants, artificial saliva, with brand names Biotene or Salivia, is used for xerostomia, dry mouth. We'll conclude with three distinct and important categories. First, smoking cessation. Nicotine, found in Nicorette gum or the Nicoderm CQ patch, is used for tobacco cessation. Nicotine stimulates autonomic ganglia to produce feelings of well-being. These products allow a gradual decrease in nicotine use and avoid acute withdrawal symptoms, increasing the likelihood of cessation. Next, weight loss orlistat, with the brand name Ali or Xenical, is indicated for obesity. Orlistat is a non-systemic inhibitor of GI lipases. It reversibly binds to pancreatic and gastric lipase in the GI tract, resulting in inhibition of these enzymes, reducing fat absorption and subsequent weight reduction. And finally, a critical medication for emergency opioid reversal, naloxone, with the brand names Narcan, is indicated for the reversal of opioid overdose, known or suspected. Naloxone works by competing for the binding of mu opiate receptors in the central nervous system and reverses the effects of opioids. And that completes our review of over 100 essential OTC drugs. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always read the label and consult your pharmacist or healthcare provider if you have questions. Thank you for watching, and good luck with your studies.